Good evening and welcome to our annual spring concert, part 2. For those of you who missed the first part, let me bring you up to speed. First of all, if you want to follow the program, you need to look at Thursday. Tuesday is past. It started out with a great performance by the stage band over here, followed by the wind ensemble. Did a really nice job with Mars and the Planets, as well as chorus Laura. String orchestra performed several great pieces, including Mussorgsky's Great Gate of Kiev, and full orchestra closed the evening with a rousing version of Chardosh. Really great to see all of you here this evening. Most of you have heard by now that this is my final concert. That's probably all I want to say about that at this time, other than to say from the bottom of my heart, because I may not be able to say it later, how much I thank all of you for 13 wonderful years here at Baldwin, and as well as thanking the kids for being wonderful. I've enjoyed every one of them, not just the 13 years here at Baldwin, but in all 36 years that I've been doing this. So I just thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. I have a lot of talking to do later on about some of the music we're doing, but this is going to be a real celebration tonight. Concert band is opening with Celebrata. this next one's called Appalachian Tapestry, and has several popular folk songs in it.
planning for tonight's concert, I decided to skew towards doing fewer numbers with the individual groups and more numbers with the full ensembles. So our final number with concert band is On the Edge of the Sword. Our big solo on the second number was Number Long. And I will not sing this time, but we're later going to do it when we're all together, so thank you. While we're setting up for the woodwind ensemble, I see a few people here tonight
in there. Everybody in Woodwind.
that I want to recognize. They've meant so much to me over the past 13 years here at Baldwin, and in some cases, well before that, at my prior school, Elizabeth Forward. And they've been on the staff here, and with me leading the marching band position, I do not know for sure if they will be back, okay? I hope, certainly, that if they desire to be back, that they have that opportunity, and hopefully that'll be the case. First of all the way back to Elizabeth Forward, we have Lori Yetnack in the back. Also one of our percussion instructors, Mr. Keith Nichols. Former band member here and current instructor, Dawn Sircon. Also, believe it or not, former instructor here with the band for a couple of years, Mr. Chris Tranner. Over here by any chance, because Mr. Tranner would like to say hi to Rich Lovick. And, okay, I know she said she was coming, but I don't see her right now. Miss Heidi Gunther from the middle school. Did I miss anybody? Staff-wise? Mark. Oh, I didn't miss Mark. And finally, director of the Woodwind Ensemble this evening, our assistant director with the marching band, and just a big helper. And he's a former student, but from Elizabeth Forward. In fact, we have some blackmail evidence that we found today. Connor Gordon has it on his cell phone, a picture of Mark when he was in the Elizabeth Forward band. It's very interesting. So, right now I'm going to turn it, but before I do turn it over to Mark for the Woodwind Ensemble, I want to thank all of you, my staff, these many years. Thank you so much. I'll never forget it, and I hope you can forgive me for leaving after 36 years, but it's time, and I know so many kids have said, well, can you do 2 more? But if I do 2 more, guess what's going to happen after those 2? And then, sometimes you have to take your opportunities when they're there for you. And I tell that to the kids all the time, that you have to take your opportunities. And if it weren't for that case, we wouldn't be here now. So, again, to my staff, I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Mark? I can't believe
would be an embarrassing photo of me anyway. This, of course, is the Woodland Ensemble, totally after-school group that we started, I think, about 8 years ago. A little explanation about the first song we're doing. It's the spinning song, and for a group like this, there really isn't literature out there. So either, when we first started this, I kind of had to rewrite some parts to make it work on literature that we found. Well, this piece was actually arranged by a former student, Eric Andy. We played it a few years ago. The kids have enjoyed it so much, so that's what we're doing tonight. It's called the spinning song.
Eric here?
Before we do the next piece, I just wanted to publicly thank Mr. McKeever for everything. Not only as a student, I think he changed my life, but allowing me to come here and work with him has just been, it's been an amazing 12 years. Allowing me to do this, I just told him last month, this coming and working with this group is like the greatest hour of the week. It is, and you guys are great all through the years of doing this. The kids here have just been unbelievable. Many of you may know I'm a real passionate advocate for music education. And the reason I am is because of him. And mainly from what I saw when I was here in the last 12 years. What I've seen so many students, and I see so many out here tonight, so many students have gone through here that, you know, when you're a student, you don't necessarily realize maybe the change that's happening to you, but I saw it in students over the course of 4 years. It's so obvious, and it takes a special person to cultivate that. And to that, I thank Mr. McKeever so much for that. So thank you, thank you. celebration tonight. So appropriately, our next piece of music is titled Celebration.
Robert W. Smith piece, nice piece, American Flourish. This one is by a Japanese composer who actually wrote it when he was 19 years old, called On Wings of Magic. Our final symphonic band selection this evening is Just a Closer Walk with Thee. And this arrangement is basically taken from the idea of a New Orleans street band. And on it, the funeral procession on the way to the cemetery, the first part is very solemn. And then after, on the way back after the cemetery and signifying moving on to a better life, is the happy part of the song. Just a Closer Walk with Thee. Recognize the outstanding seniors who are here tonight in all of our groups. First of all, starting in the percussion section, we have Teresa Walker. Any other percussion seniors? All right, trumpet seniors, we have Mary Hannah Paterni. Thomas Brown. Peter Robinson. seniors, we have Steve Kovacs and Christina Finley. And the Frank section, Kelsey Helleman, Jimmy Tommy, Ron Wong, saxophones, Chris Bullich, Steve Lansky, John Barley, Danielle, aka Danny Powell. Also in the trumpets in this row. Next member on trumpet, hard to believe, seeing how he's played tuba, drums, the lute, clarinet, sax, anything else. Sean Russman will be in the WD band. I've seen wannabes. Aaron Zimick in the flute. Number one. Renee Baum. Adam River. Alyssa Thorne. Kate Hickey. And our first clarinetist, Susie Vasilevich, Luke Clinton, and Connor Corcoran. Did I miss anyone? Okay, I said earlier, each of the next pieces I have a story of some things to talk about with each one. Well, the first one is the magic of Andrew Lloyd Webber. And some of you were here a couple months ago. You got to see some of that magic in the musical Cats. And this Saturday is the Gene Kelly Awards, so we thought we'd play this piece, the tribute to Andrew Lloyd Webber, which is one of the nicest arrangements. And but before we do, though, I'd like to ask to stand, first of all of the students in here that were in the Gene Kelly Award nominated orchestra, best student orchestra, stand up. All of those who were nominated for Best Musical as well as Best Ensemble and the other 8 awards, stand up. Those of you that were on the stage. And then let's after that, some of the award-winning crew members. I know Emily was on the crew and anyone else back. Congratulations to all of you, and just remember, Saturday night, doesn't matter what the results are, you are all winners. Great job. Now it's time for us to play the instant concert game. If you pick up one of these white papers and have a pencil. Now, some people wanted to cheat, and I have one that's already filled out, so I know that person cheated. Mr. Andy, you have to wait till you hear the music.
You said all 30 were on the sheet, so
They're all on the sheet, but here's the object of the game. First of all, this game was invented before they had video games, so there's a lot of hand-eye and ear coordination. 30 songs are listed in alphabetical order. We don't play them in that order. So when you hear the song, you have to be fast enough to find it on the list, cross it off, and not miss the song after it, because there's 30 songs in a 3-minute tune. So it's only a few seconds of each song. So let's see how fast you can react. So it's like a video game. You gotta be really fast. And like I said, when Harold Walters wrote this piece, there weren't any video games. So this was the video game. Instant concert.
I need another sheet.
Stop, put your pencils down. How many got them all? Who got them all? I knew you wouldn't. All right, anybody get 20? All right, we'll turn your papers in again tonight, I'll grade them. The next piece that we're playing is called Salute to New York City. And I played this piece for a reason also for tonight. One of the greatest moments and one of the greatest thrills in my career was when the band 4 years ago, year 2006, marched down Broadway and into Herald Square for Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And this event in fall of 2006, it was the 80th Macy's Parade and the first and only Macy's Parade that any Baldwin high school band has ever been in. And also, very, very, very few bands from this area, and in Allegheny County in particular, have ever been in it. So it was certainly an honor and something that we're very proud of. So first of all, I'd like to ask if we have any of our alumni in the audience that marched in the Macy's Parade. Would you please stand up? The other reason for performing this tonight and celebrating the Macy's Parade is because behind me is the last group that participated in that parade. They're seniors this year. They were freshmen when we did it. And they've had a wonderful 4 years. And we'd like to ask them now to stand and be recognized. Those that marched in the Macy's Parade. Thank you very much. And in honor of them, we play Salute to New York City. if I can do it, I wanted to share with you tonight a little bit about why I'm here and what got me here for 36 years doing what I do. And most of the kids know that I always like to end the concerts with a march, and tonight's no different. This is not a march that I've ever performed before, although I've done the composer many times. It's one of my favorites. But there's a reason for specifically doing a song by Edwin Franco Goldman. So I want to honor the people that have really have made my career possible. And first of all, is a staff member who is here tonight and who's been by my side, Linda McKeever, our uniform staff person. Could you stand up and be recognized? I'm looking forward to being able to spend a lot more time at home, going places and doing things. Anyway, I'm a very strong advocate, and I know most of you know that, for music education. And while we've seen some changes in it over the years, and some of it, I was looking back and reflecting, and some of the things I found so hard to believe. But anyway, Edwin Franco Goldman was basically in the 30s and 20s and 30s, a great band conductor, and great music person, very much in the vein of John Philip Sousa a couple decades earlier during the turn of the century. At any rate, Goldman in 1934 was his first performance of this particular piece. And he performed it at a music festival as a grand finale with 4,200 band members, 800 string players, and 1,200 singers. Okay, and remember, this is during the Depression. And it's amazing that even during that time, that they had money for music. So how does this link with my personal story? Okay, my grandfather was my first music teacher. In fact, there were 7 children in my family, and we were growing up in the 60s during a recession at that time too, but every Saturday morning my grandfather would come over to the house and he'd line up all 7 of us one at a time for our piano lessons. And that was my first formal music training. In the 1930s, he started an orchestra in McKeesport, and at the time it was called the First Baptist Orchestra for the First Baptist Church, and then later on it grew into what is now the McKeesport Symphony, and has been for many years. At any rate, when Harold McKeever was conductor of the First Baptist Orchestra in McKeesport, he brought in a guest conductor, Edwin Franco Goldman. And one of the things I remember him and my dad talking about over the years was what a spectacle, what a big thing this was in the city of McKeesport. So indirectly, Goldman had an influence on my life through my grandfather, who was my first mentor and my first music teacher. My other music teacher at that age was the choir director at the local church, the church that I went to, Green Oak Methodist Church, and happened to be my dad, Harold Irvin McKeever. My dad passed away last August, and he was my second musical influence. So most of the people that I'm talking about aren't with us anymore, but he also inspired me in a lot of ways. I'll never forget my junior high band director, Rudy Shirley, my high school band director, Ernie Tilly, and so many others. Every music teacher that I've had has been an inspiration for me, and I know that I'm a part of it. There's a little bit of every one of them in me, and I thank them. Even though they're not with us now, I do thank them. And for them and for me, as I parade out of here, I want to play On Parade, and that's why we're doing this number. And it's a happy march, and his marches are all happy. We've done On the Mall. They're all sing-alongs and clap-alongs. The words for this one, and I promise, kids, I'm not going to sing it like I did yesterday in practice. Let's sing. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's sing as we march along with heads erect. Let's sing this joyful song with bugle, fife, and drum. We're on parade. Just wait until we come with flags flying everywhere Music is in the air, so come now and cheer the band. We're on parade, the finest in the land. Hurrah! On parade.